Okay, do the punch. I thought we were doing the punching intro.
Well,
because that was really cute.
What's happening, party people? Welcome to Punchboard Party. My name is Daniel.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are here with another video for you guys today. You guys loved having Sarah on the channel, and so did I. Here she is.
Yeah, I loved being here. It was so much fun to film the last video, so really happy to be back.
And so we were scratching our heads as to what we could do for our next video, and we got this idea from watching Foster the Meeple, Jamie and Jeff. We love those guys. They're really great to watch. If you haven't checked out their channel, please do so. I'll put a little link in the description below as well for you guys. But they did a video, Who Played It Best? So we're also gonna play Who Played It Best. And so we have our little Daniel and Sarah paddles. So what we're gonna do is, I have a few games.
So what we're gonna do. Okay, so we chose 10 games from our collection that we both enjoy playing, and we're just gonna go through them and vote at the same time on who is better at that game. We'll see
who kicks the other's butt at that game.
Yeah, I'm really curious how many we'll agree on.
Yeah, me too.
If any.
There's a couple that I'm just gonna like stir the pot just for fun.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. So we'll vote and then we'll discuss. It should be a fun conversation, and you'll get to hear about a lot of fun games along the way. So stay with us as we move into this little game.
The first game on the list is Mr. Jack.
So Mr. Jack is a two-player game. One player plays the inspector, one player plays Mr. Jack. You draft these rolls, which allow you to move tokens around the board in different ways. And Mr. Jack is trying to escape while the inspector is trying to figure out who of these 8 suspects Mr. Jack is. It's a fun game. Let's see who's better. Who is better at it?
3, 2, 1.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Yeah. I love Mr. Jack, but it falls into that category of games that I love and I don't think I'm very good at, which is impressive for a game because usually you're drawn to games that you're good at. I think I'm sneaky and strategic, but yeah, I think you win almost every time.
No, that's not true.
Yeah. I'm really bad at being the Mr. Jack role.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe. My memories are that I'm just not as good at this game as you. Like, you kind of are able to deduce, you're able to pay attention what's happening, you're able to kind of know what's going on. And
That's funny. Yeah, I try and know what's going on, but I feel like you win more, so.
Okay, and see, this game is more of just like a you win or you don't. And so there's not a score pad or something for us to go and check to see who won the game or not. So we both think we suck at Mr. Jack.
No, I just think you're better. I think I'm good, and I think you're better. Yeah.
Okay,
We're off to a funny start, though.
Yeah, that's awesome. Our next game on our list is The Fox in the Forest. The Fox in the Forest is a nice little 2-player trick-taking game where if you get too many tricks, you get 0 points. If you get too few tricks, it's actually a good thing. You're going to get 6 points for the round. And so you want to kind of get right in these 2 little sweet spots. And it is a great fun for 2 players. Who do we think is better at this game? 3, 2, 1.
What? All right.
You want to go to war or what?
Yeah. Daniel introduced me to this game recently. I was kind of like, I don't know, on the fence about it to start. But then it clicked for me because growing up, I played a card game with my family called Euchre, which is a trick-taking game where there's a trump, one suit is trump, and you have a partner and you're trying to collect as many tricks as you can. And yeah, it just reminded me a lot of Euchre, and I thought it was done really well, adapted really well to a 2-player format, and just some neat kind of like balances thrown in the mix. I actually struggled the most when Daniel was trying to lose on purpose.
and that's why I said I'm better at it.
Okay.
Because I was able to take advantage of the rules and sneak one out from you by purposefully losing the game.
Yeah. I was going to say it was hard for me not to take all the tricks.
Yeah.
Because I was
So good at taking tricks.
Anyway, you have won a few times. So,
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Maybe we're more balanced than we think. I think I'm just better at trick-taking card games, personally. It's in my blood.
I think you are. I think you are better at trick-taking games, all in all. If we were playing a game where whoever won the most tricks was the winner, then you'd be better.
Okay.
But because there's a few kind of hiccups with the different cards and different abilities that they do, and the fact that you can win some more points by losing,
Yeah.
I think that gives me a little bit of an advantage.
I'm sticking with my answer, but fair enough. Okay, so our number 3 game that we're going to compare is Dune Imperium. I can do the explanation because it's pretty simple.
All right.
Basically, you are on a miserable planet, struggling to gain resources and crawling towards gaining 10 points after a few hours. So
It's great.
Dune is fun. It's like worker placement, deck building, sci-fi theme.
Great.
Okay, who's better at Dune? Dune, Dune, Dune.
Dune. What? What is happening?
I think I'm a strong contender for this game.
You show up.
I'm not. I'm not giving away that one too easily.
Okay. So I played this last night with a few buddies, and I came out victorious in a 4-player game. So I'm feeling fairly confident about my ability to do well at Dune Imperium.
Yeah, but I've always gotten like at least 7 points every time I've played it. So I don't know if I've ever beaten you.
So
Have you ever beaten me?
I think so. Well, actually, the last game we played together, it was another 4-player game, and we all tied.
Yeah, it was a very anticlimactic finish.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. So on that note, there is something to be said for maybe we're kind of, even keeled.
Neck and neck.
Neck and neck.
Just trying to survive.
On a deserted desert planet called Arrakis.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, for our next game, this is a newer game. This is Hadrian's Wall. This is kind of the roll and writes of all roll and writes. Big 2 sheets of paper. You get a bunch of kind of resources or different color meeples at the beginning of your turn, and then you spend them to fill in certain spots, which will then give you new resources that you can spend to fill in more spots, and basically you're just trying to gain a bunch of victory points. It's fairly complicated for a roll and write, and it's also fairly solitaire for a multiplayer game. So let's see who we think is better at Hadrian's Wall.
3, 2, 1. Oh,
there you go. Chubbed, I'm sure.
I thought you were going to say yourself for sure because I think you do really well at this game. Also, it's so funny. We're not antagonistic enough for this exercise at all. No, babe, you should be. No, okay, I voted me. I'll stick to it. I think I'm better at Hadrian's Wall. Yeah, at least once or twice that we played, you did really well at utilizing strategy on that second page. Sometimes when there are too many things going on in a game, I focus on the wrong things and I don't always go for the victory points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Daniel's really great at going for end game victory points or just victory points in general. Sometimes I'm like, if my objective is to build a good wall, I have to keep going, you know what I mean? Or I also just like completing things in games sometimes. It's satisfying to be like, the wall is built.
That's right. Even if it's not the most strategic.
Secure. Yeah, exactly. So that's so funny though. I'm totally
so why did you vote for yourself?
Because I like this game and I think I'm good at it.
It's who's better.
Yeah, I'm better. You're better. I think
No, you're not.
I've won a few times that we played. Right?
Yeah. So what happens a lot for us when we play games together is that if I've played the game before or what have you, I might do better in the first playthrough, and then Sarah catches on, and then she'll start doing better. And then it's a real toss-up whether I come back and end up doing better. Sometimes that happens where after I played it 4 or 5 times, then I'm ready to go and have a really clear strategy and I can consistently do better. But we haven't played this game quite enough times to really realize kind of where we're at on that. I just think that Sarah has a better ability to focus on particular strategies than I do.
That's so funny. I said the same thing about you.
I'll just say I'm better.
No, I think I'm good at it. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm good at it.
Awesome.
Okay, next on the list is Jamaica.
Jamaica! This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, one of
If my name's not on your paddle, I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Okay, Jamaica. A little game, a little race. It's a game. It's a game where you race around the island of Jamaica. Jamaica is a game where everyone has their own little pirate ship. You're racing around the island of Jamaica. Ultimately, it is a race. First person to get there wins, but you have to collect resources and sometimes have to battle people as well.
You don't win if you get to the finish line.
I know that.
That game ends when someone gets to the finish line and then the person with the most coins wins.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Who's better at Jamaica?
Who is it? Better be me. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. There we go. Now all's right with the world.
You want to tell me why I'm actually good at Jamaica?
No.
Okay.
I've kind of honed my skill with Jamaica. Mm. Jamaica is a family weight, fairly luck-heavy game. Like there's a lot of things that could happen in the game that are just kind of out of your control. However, I've found just a sweet spot of being able to mitigate the luck and those kind of unpredictable factors in such a way that I can pull out the victory more often than not.
Yeah.
When I play this game.
What's your secret though?
Yeah, so basically how the game plays, you have 3 cards that you're choosing from, and each card has a morning action and an evening action, and then the kind of star player for that round rolls dice and they choose which die will represent the morning action and the evening action. My main strategy is just save my green arrows, which move you forward around the board, for when the dice are high. I just hold on to them as long as possible, and then yes, I struggle to feed my people along the way, and I struggle to actually collect a lot of coins. But there's a 15-point bonus if you get to the end first. Mm. And then what I do is I engage in a lot of battles to try and steal cards from people.
Now I know.
Now you know.
Watch out next time we play Jamaica.
That's right.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I think I'm pretty good at it too. But yeah, you always seem to get to the end first. That's why I said when you cross the finish line, you win, because it seems like it to me.
Now, sometimes I've been in such a position where I really struggled to get to the end first, but I've gotten to the end first, and then someone else has just collected more treasure cards, they've collected more coins along the way, and so they're further behind than I am, but they get more points in the end.
I just like how you clarified that you have lost at least once.
At least one. At least one.
Yeah. Not many times though, but maybe one.
Next game for finding out who's better at playing board games, we are going to talk about Rajas of the Ganges.
Yay!
Rajas of the Ganges is a dice worker placement game with a lot of kind of moving pieces. There's some tile placement in the mix. Main factor that you're looking at for drawing you into this game is that there's kind of fame points and there's currency or income, and there's 2 tracks, and you're trying to get those 2 tracks to meet, and then when they meet, the end game is triggered, and then whoever has the biggest gap wins the game. And so there's lots of cool things happening in this game. Sarah and I both enjoyed it a lot. You might have heard us kind of quip about this in Sarah's top 10 board games of all time. 3, 2, 1. Nice. It's Sarah. It's Sarah. There's not even a competition here. I can't hack it. Can't hack it. Why are you so good?
I don't know. I just like it a lot. Yeah, I said it before, but I think the reason I'm good at it is because even if you can't further one strategy in a particular round, you can further another, and you need to have multiple things on the go. And I just really liked that. So I guess if you wanted to be super methodical about it, it could be exactly what is going to get me more points. But I feel I just really like that options piece where you're still, moving along one or both tracks each round.
For me, I just get, I just try and do everything all at once. And I'm okay, I I push my luck too far, where I'm like, I'm going to try and sell a lot of goods and get a lot of buildings. When really, like, you shouldn't keep those even. You should kind of, like, invest in one of those a bit more than the other. But I'm almost trying to make my 2 tracks meet, like, right in the middle sort of thing,
interesting.
you know?
Yeah.
And it just, I stretch myself too thin.
I haven't played Rajas in a while, so.
Yeah, well, I got tired of losing.
Yeah.
So we should do that again.
Red Rising.
Red Rising. All right.
You want me to explain it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so, but I just don't remember what the fleet track and
Oh yeah, Fleet Track, Institute,
universe.
Helium.
Helium. Got it.
Yeah.
And how do you get cards in your hand?
You start with 7 cards in your hand.
Okay, but you discard them?
And then you play them to the board. Like there's 4 locations.
Yeah. And you pick up from that location or from the deck?
From any location.
Okay.
Like, so not the location you drop the card off at.
Okay. You should definitely keep that. Okay, Red Rising. Red Rising is a game where you are managing a hand of 7 cards. The cards work in combination with each other, so you want to hold on to the right cards, discard cards that you don't need, but there's a lot going on the board where you're discarding to different locations and scoring in different ways along different tracks and things like that. So this is a fairly new game.
It is a fairly new game.
That's been on the channel before, so
yes,
fun to review it and decide who plays it best. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, boom, baby. Although again, this was another game where we had that sort of rhythm where you beat me a couple times.
Yeah.
And then I kind of.
Yeah.
There we go. For me, this is a game where you can get better with multiple plays.
Yeah.
Of just understanding what cards are in the deck, of what sort of combinations you can use, of remembering what you can do when the cards that you are really looking for aren't coming up. Just remembering that grays and oranges work really well to fill in the gap when you're not finding the card that you need. Whereas when you're a first player, you're like, where's this particular character? I don't know. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Whereas when you played it a few times, you're like, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to make sure I have an orange in my hand or whatever. So I've reached, pretty high scores in this game that I'm pretty proud of. Pretty proud of. But again, game to game, there is a luck factor that can take a big chunk out of points.
Yeah, I did find this game quite overwhelming when I first played it. There is a lot of reading, a lot of unique cards. So that just takes a while to get used to, but I did really enjoy it. I'll definitely play it again. And yeah, I just think you're a little bit better. You know what? One of my weaknesses in games like this is just like, oh, this character looks really nice. Like, I don't want to get rid of it. Or like, oh, so-and-so is with the character she loves. I can't discard him. Right. I don't know. I'm a bit of a sucker for theme.
Keeping the theme together.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's gonna do it every time.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to a little town. A little village, if you will. Or a tiny town. It's a quiet village. Tiny towns. Tiny towns is a wonderful game where each player has their own personal kind of grid that they're working on, and then there are cubes of different colors, like yellow, red, brick. They represent building materials. And different buildings that you can construct that are basically polynomial. So basically, the main way to play the game is in turn order. Somebody calls out a building material. I've done a longer explanation than I want. Okay,
you're just you're like a board game teacher by nature. You like can't turn it off.
Right. Okay. Let me go
tiny
back.
towns. It's like building a town. Okay, let's vote.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. Tiny Towns is a great little game where you are building a tiny town, and it's basically you're building these polyomino shapes on your board and then retracting them to put little buildings on there. The more buildings and combinations get you different points, and it's basically an efficiency puzzle. It's great.
Yeah.
And we love it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who's better. This is going to be tough for me. Not tough for you.
No. 3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. I really struggle with spatial puzzles.
Yeah.
And this is all this game is.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun playing it, but I always find myself just running out of space, pitting myself into a corner,
Yeah.
realizing that I've built my buildings in the wrong spaces. Whereas it seems like Sarah's able to just go on forever.
Not forever,
But
yeah.
like there's multiple games we've played where you've had a lot more turns than I have had.
Anybody else? Oh no. Okay. You still no. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Finish a cathedral.
Okay, we get it.
Add a few farms. It's a fun game. Yeah, you do well. You do well enough.
Do okay,
Yeah,
but
happy
like.
to have you.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
But
Happy to have you.
Sarah's really good at this one.
Up next is Meadow. I can't describe it to you because I don't remember any of the rules.
Meadow is a wonderful card drafting game where you are building your own meadow and you're collecting cards or different animals and houses, and they need certain conditions fulfilled in order to be placed in your tableau. So you're trying to build a foundation. But the trick is that you're often covering up the symbols that you need to build other things when you build new things into your meadow. So it's this kind of back and forth push and pull, and the drafting mechanism is really cool, kind of quadropolis style. Did that okay?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
This is my impression of your game explanation. Meadow. So in turn order, starting with the youngest player.
All right. So that's the problem with Father Greg and I's top 100 lists. It's all we do is just rules explanations.
It's great if someone doesn't know the game. It's just
right. This is a different thing.
Yeah.
We're playing a game. We're not learning games.
We love games.
Games. Okay, this is getting out of control.
Okay, who is better at Meadow? 3, 2, 1. If I had a what the?
Whoa, what? I think we're both pretty terrible.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that it made our list.
Yeah, well, we just want to talk about it because
let's talk about it.
Because it is a really nice game.
Yeah.
It's a good kind of.
I need to play it again.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable experience, but it definitely hits like a wingspan for me, where it's harder than the theme lets on.
Yeah.
So it's like really cute. I prefer this to wingspan actually. Sarah doesn't really love the whole covering up symbols.
Yeah, I was gonna say
as you're building, because it's sort of this like one step forward, two steps back feeling.
Yeah, it's just frustrating, especially because then if you want to be strategic at the game, you're kind of looking ahead at what symbols or what cards you're wanting like a few turns away, and that just takes away from the enjoyability for me of like, oh, I'll take this one. That's like a good acquisition.
That's a good acquisition, my good fellow.
That's a fine acquisition. Yeah, I dislike covering up other symbols. It's just a little bit frustrating to me.
Right.
Anyway, this video isn't about why we don't like Meadow. We just we don't know who's better at it yet. Let's play it again, but I still think it's you.
Our friend Daniel is better.
Yeah,
say that.
Friend Daniel.
Yeah, there we go. You win.
Our 10th and final game on our list is 5 Tribes.
5 Tribes! For the longest time, this was my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for those of you watching our top 100 games, it's not going to make it.
It didn't make the top 100?
No.
Oh. That is a spoiler.
It didn't make the number 1 spot. Do you want to explain it?
Yeah, you move your people, but you have to drop people off along the way.
You move your people, but you got to drop your people off, and it's really great.
Okay, let's vote. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
This is a lame video. We keep agreeing on everything.
Not on everything. We had some.
Yeah, Daniel's great.
But when you are as good at a game as me, then how can we have any competition? Right. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's a good game. Actually, you know what? I haven't played it in a while. I'm curious if I would like it more now, or if I would play it differently now.
I think you would. I am good at this game, but it fluctuates. Where if you just don't get into a particular groove, if you're not in the right headspace to play a real sort of crunchy game, then it's not going to go super well for you because you have to really balance a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
And really kind of cut through the noise and like make the best choice. And there's also this auction that happens at the beginning of each turn where you bid to go first in turn order. So if you see something really good, then you want to make sure you go, but you don't want to kind of give away what you see.
Yeah,
and so there's
yeah,
all
yeah.
this kind of stuff happening.
There's a lot
too.
going on. There's a lot going on.
So I've had plays of this where I've done really well, and I do consistently well, but I definitely
Do
I've
better
been
than
beat.
Sarah.
No, I've been beat quite a bit. All right, party people, thank you so much for being with us for this fun little game of who played it best. I hope you enjoyed this. We want to keep on making videos together because we really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. And so if you have ideas for videos that you'd like to see us do, please comment them down below. We're going to keep talking about cool board games. We want to bring them to you in some fun, creative ways.
Yeah, big shout out to Foster the Meeple for this idea. Yeah, maybe we'll do it again sometime. And if you have played any of these games with us and think you're better than both of us are, which is likely, you can put that in the comments too. Until next time, party people.
Have the best day.